All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to That's So Random with your host, Doc One, aka Doc Anthony Bravo. And let me tell you, there's a lot to unpack this week. Unfortunately, last week I had missed an episode because I was up to my eyebrows in things I had to do. I had the pre-production of my film, I had the post-production of my film, editing my film. We had a few icons pass away. We had a lot of interesting things in MLB. And at the end of this episode, there's a fun game I want to do. We're not going to make it a drinking game. But after I edit every podcast, I notice I say and a lot. So at the end of the episode, we're going to see how many and I throw in there. And I'll probably put it at the end. Because trust me, I edit these podcasts and I find them so annoying. And I'm glad I don't leave them in there because you would find them so annoying, or some of you would probably use them against me. Like, yeah. We're gonna stop that. Cut it out right now. First, we're gonna jump into professional wrestling. Unfortunately, this week, the wrestling world lost an icon and a legend. The immortal Hulk Hogan passed away at the age of 71 from a heart attack. WWE and the wrestling community globally have paid tribute to a man often credited with making professional wrestling mainstream. This week on WWE Raw, fans watched a heartfelt 10-bell salute to Hogan. Even controversial figures such as Vince McMahon appeared in archive footage during the tribute. Most fans agree Hogan's legacy couldn't be told without acknowledging Vince McMahon. Meanwhile, WWE Unreal, the docuseries on Netflix, is giving a behind-the-scenes look into WWE, sparking debate, raising questions about how much transparency wrestling fans actually want. Now, first I want to jump into the Hulk Hogan passing away. In the last few years, Hogan did not make his legacy any better. There was a lot of controversy with the recordings that were put out of him using racial slurs and him being labeled a racist. Then to top it off, he obviously showed his political side, being labeled a racist, and then with all the stigma that surrounds the Trump administration, that doesn't fit well. As you can see, and it's no secret, I am a die-hard wrestling fan. And I can honestly say that if it wasn't for Hulk Hogan, I probably wouldn't be talking about wrestling or professional wrestling or how much I love professional wrestling. And we'll be right back after these messages.
Original comedy plus bits and pieces lost in time and space. Canned Meat Theater. You never know what's inside.
2 weeks ago, I was shooting my horror film for the OIF Reel Challenge called Happy Trails. And it's about 5 hikers that take a trip into haunted locations looking for scares. And the one place that my character chose, because my character is the person who runs the haunted hikes. And before we start our hike, we get a warning saying stay away from this particular trail. They've had a bunch of missing people. Cops don't even go out there. That's how notorious that one particular hiking trail is. But my character is greedy. We've already taken the money for the hike, so we're still going, regardless to warning that was given. So we went and we shot the film in St. Cloud just to prove my point on something I said, I believe, in the first episode of That's So Random, is that you can shoot a whole film on your iPhone. As long as the sound is decent and the story is good, you should be able to put out a finished product that reflects the vision that you had for this project. If you follow me on social media, especially Instagram, you'll see the teaser trailer. As a matter of fact, if I post up this particular podcast onto my YouTube channel, you can also see the previous video that I posted is the teaser trailer. And just checking that out, you can see that it might not be the greatest quality, but we put out a film that's worthy of being in a film festival, because the story's good, the acting's great, the sound is okay, because we use regular lav mics and one Rode mic. We got the job done. The budget was very limited, but we made it happen. And I want to give a big shout out to my cast. Literally, my crew was myself and another actor who took turns taking control of the phone to shoot. So big shout out to Sean Winders, who plays the collector in Happy Trails, and the real MVP, J.P. Wilson. He is one of the greatest first 80s I've worked with, and he's great at every role behind the camera. He can do camera operator, which he did in this one, script supervisor, first AD. This man is a real MVP, and if you live in the Orlando area and you do films in Orlando or are part of the Organization of Independent Filmmakers, John Patrick Wilson is a name that you shall not forget, because once you have him on your set, I guarantee you things elevate to a whole different level. Big shout out to him for having patience. I'm everywhere. Again, my ADHD, especially when I'm on my own set, I'm like everywhere. I can either do things in a hurry, or I can have a sudden change of an idea in that split moment. And having him as my first AD, he's able to switch gears really quickly and able to keep up to the vision I'm trying to put out. So obviously, big shout out to JP for sticking with me and helping me out. Now, back on to the Hulk Hogan passing away last week. Hulk Hogan was a hero to many of us as kids, especially a lot of wrestling fans. Without Hulk Hogan, undoubtedly, wrestling would not be where it's at today. It's no secret, if you can see my tattoo here, I am a big NWO fan. Don't get me wrong, I love D-Generation X, but NWO, having Hulk Hogan, Scott Hall, and Kevin Nash, I love Razor Ramon. I wanted to be Big Daddy Cool. So, and obviously Hulk Hogan, the OG of superstars in wrestling. Those three together, I was just like, I want to be like them. I remember in 5th grade, I used to take the school bus, and me and my friends would sit in the back with black and white bandanas on, black and white shirts on, being the NWO. Yeah, D-Generation X was more of my attitude, no pun intended to the attitude era, but they were more of like my personality, where the NWO were who I wanted to be. I wanted to be part of that black and white. And as a matter of fact, the movie Happy Trails has like that 16 millimeter film burn reel thing going on, just like the NWO promos. I'm not sure if that's where the idea stemmed from. That's a good connection to this conversation. But I wrote something on social media about how he was the foundation to our love for wrestling. Without him, none of us probably would have been as hooked as we are today. I mean, I'm a grown man with kids and a championship belt collection because I love wrestling. WCW, WWE is because of this man. I remember having the little wrestling buddy, Hulk Hogan, and getting the fake styrofoam belts that I would get from live events. And I would put it on Hulk Hogan and we would wrestle, and I'd beat him for it each and every time. But recently, with all the stuff that has come out negatively of Hulk Hogan, I just want to take time out and say, I am very disappointed at things that he said and the alliances he's made politically. But it's undeniable that this man shaped the culture of professional wrestling and pop culture. I just want to share something that I wrote because I've met this man. I've met him during my time at TNA Wrestling when they were filming at Universal Studios. I worked for them. I would see him all the time. And the first time I met him, let me tell you, this grown man became the 7-year-old kid that was mesmerized. And the way I met him, I was helping out with the merchandise stand, which was right at the front. We filmed in Soundstage 19 at Universal Studios. And I was helping with merchandise. At the time, I had a girlfriend who was in charge of the merchandise stand, so that's why I was helping her. As we're putting up shirts, all I hear behind me is, "Hey brother, let me get that shirt right there. And I'm like, shut the F up. And I turn around and it's Hulk Hogan. I'm losing my mind, but trying to keep it together because I work there. And I shake his hand and I'm just like, wow, it's a pleasure meeting you. And I tell him how much he inspired me, how big of a fan I was. I didn't mark out, but I kept it cool. But that was an experience. And the few times that I ran into him around town, whether it was in Clearwater or whether it was here in Orlando, he has his shop in Clearwater and here. And I've seen him in both places. Again, he wasn't a stranger to being around town. If he wasn't doing a special meet and greet or if he wasn't doing a wrestling event, you catch on occasion around town. And I remember one time I tweeted him and he retweeted my tweet, and that was also a cool moment. It was before I met him, so it wasn't like he remembered me, but that was a cool moment. What I wrote, a little bit of my feelings towards Hulk Hogan. And here it goes. There's something I've kept to myself for a long time because these days, saying it out loud feels like stepping into a storm. But the truth is, Hulk Hogan was once my hero. Growing up, he wasn't just a wrestler. He was the wrestler. For me, while I'm talking, I'm trying not to get emotional. So when I do the editing, you'll realize that I might sound a little different in certain sentences. But back to where I was at. Growing up, he wasn't just a wrestler, he was the wrestler. The larger-than-life figure in red and yellow who told me to say my prayers, eat my vitamins, and believe in yourself. He made me fall in love with professional wrestling. That energy, that presence, he made it feel like magic. Like anything was possible. And for a kid like me, that meant something. Years later, I got the chance to work behind the scenes at TNA Wrestling, and I never forget the day that I met him. Like I said, he was right behind me. He asked for a shirt, and I was just shocked at the fact that this childhood hero is now standing right behind me. There's nobody on the line, nobody asking for autographs. He was asking for a t-shirt because we worked together. And I just turned around and shook his hand, and it was just wild to me. Hulk Hogan was nothing but kind, not just polite, but genuinely kind to me. He took time out to talk to me, he showed me respect, and he treated me like I mattered, even though I was just another spoke on this TNA wheel. And that moment stuck with me forever. Now I won't pretend that the controversy surrounding him hasn't been disappointing or hard to reconcile with. The things that he said were wrong, period. And the hurt they caused is real and valid. But I also can't erase the memories of what he meant to me as a kid, or the respect he showed me as a young professional just trying to find my place in the wrestling world. People are complicated, heroes even more so. But my story is the truth, and the truth is that Hulk Hogan helped shape my love for professional wrestling. And when I met him, he showed me nothing but kindness that I can never forget. And even through all of that, I'm still a wrestling fan, loud and proud to be because of him and everything he brought to the business. But I believe we can acknowledge the pain someone caused without denying the good they once brought into our lives. That's not a pass, but that is being honest. Take away what he said. If that never came out, or if that was never said in general, let's say he never said that at all, he would have died with a bigger legacy and more love and admiration than he ever had. But because of the mistakes he made in life, or the decisions he made in life, it tainted his legacy until his death. And unfortunately, it's going to carry on till the afterlife. But to the Hulk Hogan that I remember, your legacy will never die. The red and yellow, or the black and white, will forever live on in my heart and in my mind, and all the joy that you brought me and my family, to be honest with you. Because wrestling brought us together in my house. And a lot of the friends that I have now, I thank wrestling. A lot of the friends that I have were brought into my life because of our common love for professional wrestling. And without Hulk Hogan, none of that would have ever existed. So, thank you for the love, thank you for the entertainment, and thank you for the inspiration. It'll never be forgotten. Now, I have to take a minute to recover from all this because that was a lot. Let's take a commercial break. We'll be right back after these messages.
Original comedy plus bits and pieces lost in time and space. Canned Meat Theater. You never know what's inside.
Now, before the show ends, I definitely want to show love to another icon that passed away this week. Ozzy Osbourne made an impact in my life in regards to music and later on in my years, entertainment. For those of you who know, I interned at MTV for a brief stint in my young adulthood. And the few times that I ran into Ozzy Osbourne or the Osbournes in general, because they were always together, especially during their reality show. And obviously, Crazy Train is one of my absolute favorite songs. That song, you can put it on in the middle of me fighting and you might need to call the coroner because I will be a crazy train in that situation and I will put somebody in the ground because that song just gets me amped. Even most recently, the one song he did with Post Malone, one of my absolute favorites too. The first time I heard of Ozzy Osbourne, I had heard about him biting off the head of the bat and I was just like, wow, that's crazy. A kid from the Bronx hearing about some guy biting the head off of a bat, that was a lot for me. I've seen a lot in the Bronx, so that always made Ozzy stand out. Ozzy Osbourne was more than just a Prince of Darkness. He's a legend whose music has shaped generations, including mine. There's something about his voice, his chaos, his vulnerability, masked in madness, that always hit me on a deeper level. Whether it was Black Sabbath, breaking the mold, or his solo work, piercing through the raw emotion, Ozzy's music wasn't just sound, it was a feeling. He made the darkness feel human and the pain feel like art. What I've always admired about Ozzy is that he never pretended to be perfect. He owned his demons, wore them on his sleeve, and somehow still gave us all permission to embrace our own flaws and keep moving forward. That kind of honesty takes courage. For spectacle and controversy that followed him over the years, Ozzy's heart has always been in music and in all the connection he created with the people who've always felt like outsiders. His legacy isn't just built on the wild stories, it's built on the resilience, the reinvention, and the raw, unfiltered soul that is Ozzy Osbourne. Ozzy helped me feel less alone during the times when the world didn't make sense. For that and so much more, I'll always be grateful. Thank you, Ozzy, for the music, the madness, your reality show that made me realize my family isn't that crazy. And here I am getting emotional when I think about the impact Ozzy Osbourne has made on my life, especially with his reality show. And for the truth in all of it, you'll always be a part of my life soundtrack. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I didn't realize that this episode was going to be an emotional-filled one. Because talking about Ozzy, talking about Hulk Hogan, and just kind of letting the walls down and expressing what they meant to me was a lot. All right, MLB recap. So, a lot has happened in the baseball world too. First off, my New York Yankees still struggling. They made some great trades in the last 2 weeks. We got McMahon from the Rockies, who's definitely improved the hot corner. We got Rosario, who's a great infielder. He's a versatile person who can play, I believe, any position in the infield and the outfield. I know he's a great at-bat, so let's see what we got going on there. I also believe that the Yankees also just today went out and got Austin Slater from the Chicago White Sox. Hopefully those three can make a difference offensively and defensively. I feel like the New York Yankees definitely need to improve their pitching staff and their bullpen. Hopefully they'll add on to the rotation, get a better arm for their starting rotation or for the bullpen, because Lord knows they need that help. They just traded Carlos Carrasco, which made no sense to me because that's a pitcher that we need, and they got rid of him. I don't understand. I don't know what's been going on with him. I haven't really been keeping up because obviously I got a lot of stuff going on my own, but I'm trying to keep up with everything. A part of this recap, we have gambling investigations going on again. Now, Emmanuel Clase, the Guardian's star closer, was placed on administrative leave amid a gambling investigation. His status may affect Cleveland's strategy heading into the trade deadline. I don't know what's going on, but seriously, these baseball players just need to stay away from gambling. Period. You're going to ruin your career over a bet. I'm sure the MLB has people watching and tracking every casino, every betting app there is out there for just one little link to one of their players, and they're going to jump right on it. But moving on from that, rookie Nick Kurtz of the Athletics hit 4 home runs in one single game, setting a major league record for rookies. With the All-Star break behind us, trade season chatter is heating up. Teams like the Mets and the Yankees are debating whether potential acquisitions are worth trading prospects for. The cutoff is near and the risks are high. That is correct, because the New York Yankees, they're right in the middle right now. At the end of the day, they're the New York Yankees. They're going to be killing it regardless. But they need to stop playing games outside of baseball and start being serious about the postseason. Because last year, we were in the World Series, and out of the 7 games in that series, we lost in 5. 2 of the games that we lost, we should have won. Was it bad managing? Who knows? Was it timely hitting? Who knows? Was it the mistakes done on the field, like Judge dropping easy fly ball or Garrett Cole not fielding his position? Who knows? But this year, they have the chance to redeem themselves, and they're not doing that. They're not showing any potential to be better. Year in and year out, Yankees make the most minimum trade, probably for like a better fielder, probably a power bat, but they never go for pitching. This pitching staff absolutely sucks. Let me tell you something. Will Warren, trash. I'll die on that freaking hill. Clark Schmidt, trash. His best decision was to go for Tommy John surgery. All right? Those 2 right there, trash. And you have Will Warren pitching tonight, and they're losing. Come on, bro. Trash. Max Fried, this man is a real MVP. I love this guy. I'm glad we got him. Imagine what we would have had if Garrett Cole didn't go down for the season. But of course, things never work out that way for the New York Yankees. Why? Because somebody's doing brujeria on the damn Yankees. I swear to God, they never get ahead. So pretty much an overview of everything we covered, everything that happened this week, and even some things I probably didn't mention. But this week was a mix of tribute and turmoil to wrestling mourning a true icon, plus revelations from WWE Unreal. In the MLB, the headlines were about the rookie breakout, trade deadline, gambles, and off-field investigation, shaking up the off-season outlook. All right, and like I promised, at the end of this episode, I was going to put all the ums and you knows, and hopefully I didn't do too bad and I don't embarrass myself too much. And also, if I have time, I will also include the skit I was supposed to post up 2 weeks ago from Can Meet Theater that I wrote. Now that it's been 2 weeks, I feel like I can use that material and put it on this episode. But don't forget, you can always check it out on Can Meet Theater, because you'll never know what you're going to get.
What's all that foreign stuff doing here?
Thanks for calling Afterlife Tech Support. This is Doc, speaking eternally. How can I haunt your problems today?
Hi, yeah, I recently passed on and I'm having trouble manifesting. I keep flickering lights, but I can't knock over vases. Any tips?
Ah, yes, classic ectoplasmic misalignment. Have you tried screaming into the mirror at midnight?
Yes, but my voice keeps going through the wrong dimension, and now my neighbor's cat speaks Latin.
Oof, yeah, that's a settings issue. What haunting version are you on?
Haunting 3.1. It auto-updated when I crossed over.
Ah, there's your problem. They just released 3.2, Poltergeist Patch.
Oh, can I downgrade?
Only if you hold a seance with 3 unpaid interns and a 2006 BlackBerry. Standard procedure.
Do they need to believe in ghosts?
Absolutely not. Skeptics power the whole system.
Also, I tried floating through walls, but I got stuck halfway and now I'm in someone's pantry.
Sir, is the pantry stocked?
Well, very.
Congratulations! You've unlocked the eternal snack realm. Enjoy it. Most ghosts have to haunt a Waffle House.
Oh, well, thank you. One last thing. How do I unsubscribe from the Eternal Wailing email list?
Easy. Just scream unsubscribed into the void, and they'll send a survey.
Ah. Done. Got a pop-up. Oh, thanks for your feedback. We value your screams. Huh.
Perfect. Anything else I can eternally help you with?
Nope, I'm good. Thanks, Doc. You've been hauntingly helpful.
All in a day's eternal work. Don't forget to rate this call on a scale from 1 to ooh.
Afterlife Tech Support. When your soul needs software updates.
How are you Americans going to feel when our goods turn up in your country? Uh-oh. That don't sound so good to me.
Until next time, ladies and gentlemen, it's been a pleasure finally coming back and doing an episode. I have another film this weekend, another film next weekend. For the rest of the month of August, I will be slammed with films and parent stuff because both of my kids are going to school. Got to prepare for that. These next few episodes might not be as long, but we will have fun and I will bring you the best content I possibly can. Until next time, ladies and gentlemen, stay awesome. Have a great day.
Watch me zoom. Boom, hold on, clear the room. Boom, that was official. Boom was official. Ain't no silence.